Hi, my name is Anna Francis and I am the Resilience Manager at Frome Town Council. My role involves looking at ways that Frome can reduce the impact of transport, energy and waste, and it also involves leading on the Council's climate emergency work. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about our Good Business programme, and hopefully I will share my screen and we will look at what we've been doing to support businesses locally and how we can support you if you're on Frome. Great. So why? Well, originally we thought that we really wanted to link with local businesses more, and we wanted to look at how we could sort of encourage and promote best practice. And what we found is, while there's some really good frameworks like the B Corp framework and checklist, they're quite resource intensive. They cost money each year to be part of, and 75% of organisations in Frome have 10 or less employees. So there's lots of small and medium sized enterprises, lots of sole traders, and lots of freelancers. So we really felt that we needed something that was sort of a bit more local and I suppose less resource intensive and quicker and easier to do. And so myself and one of the councillors at the town council at the time set up the Good Business Framework in Frome and used that to link with local businesses and find out ways that we could support them. And the idea really is that, you know, we want to encourage and enable local jobs and employment, but we're really keen that these also reflect environmental best practice and also social equity and well-being. And as I mentioned, it's an opportunity to link with businesses and to link them with the community more, and also enable businesses to cooperate with each other. And when I say business, I also mean social enterprise, you know, businesses that are trying to do good things in particular. And we really want to reward and promote best practice. So we developed this framework, and I'll be sending around the presentation as part of this webinar, and that looked at economic sustainability and really sort of how the businesses are managing to cover their costs and pay people a living wage, for example. And then my key area is environmental sustainability, so it's looking at energy, transport and waste and sort of overall environmental impact. And then we also look at sort of social sustainability and how we can link with the community more. And in terms of just to give you a flavour, some of the key actions that we talk about, I mean, the first thing is looking at whether organisations have a sort of overarching environmental policy and then an understanding of where their key impacts are. There's also an increasing number of businesses that are declaring climate emergencies, and I've put in a link there in case anyone's interested in that. I think it's called Business Declares. And it's really about, yes, how businesses can lead on this area. And as well as things like green energy tariff, which is now just as cost effective as sort of dirty fossil fuel energy tariffs. You know, there's some really quick and easy wins that businesses can do. We're also looking at things like whether the business can switch to ethical banking, ethical pensions and investments, because between us, you know, we've got millions and millions of pounds invested in banks and pension funds and other investments that are supporting fossil fuels and fracking and other development that we don't want to see happening. So moving to an ethical bank, for example, such as Cooperative or Triodos, is a really effective and easy way for a business to reduce its environmental impact. We also look at local sourcing, ethical procurement and things like flexible working. And I think, you know, now everyone's used to Zoom and other applications and working from home. Hopefully that will continue and reduce the impact of transport. Also looking at how we can encourage cycling and walking to work, and encouraging employees to sign up to the living wage and pay all of their staff fairly. And the last point around plant-based catering, I couldn't resist putting in, but if we're looking at climate impacts according to Project Drawdown, if we're looking at reducing the impact of what we're doing, having a more plant-based diet is number 3 in terms of global solutions. So all the events that I do at the council have plant-based catering, and I've never had anybody complain. People don't notice, and in fact generally they're like, wow, this food is brilliant, who did the catering? So really, you know, even the most avid carnivore can can eat plant-based food a lot of the time. So to give you a flavour of some of the examples of best practice that we've come across and that we've helped to promote and support, we have an organisation called Dennis Maps in Frome, who print all the Ordnance Survey maps. They're ISA 14001 certified, so sort of environmental standards they met. And they're quite unique in that all of their profits go to the Heart of England Forest Charity. So, and the picture on the slide is actually their forest. And we're looking at ways that we can link with them with local tree planting. We've had lots of organisations that we've worked with to reduce the energy demands through low energy and intelligent lighting. LEDs these days are absolutely amazing. Ethical procurement policies and working with suppliers to minimise waste. We've had organisations that provide pro bono work for charities, lots of organisations that have signed up to the Cycle to Work scheme. And again, I'll send this round after the presentation so that you can follow up some of these links. There are organisations that offer their staff a couple of days paid leave to volunteer on local projects. And then we've had cafes that have local sourcing. For example, Andrew worked with an estate agency that works proactively with landlords to improve energy efficiency and gives a percentage of their profits annually to charity. And then more recently, we've been working with an organisation in Frome that has met the Planet Mark, and that involves having a carbon footprint of their activities and then looking at ways that they can link and work proactively with all of their clients to reduce their carbon footprint as well. I think as we go forward, more and more organisations will be doing that. So if you are interested in the Good Business survey, we have that on our website under the Good Business link that you can see on the slides. We can also often, that can be done online, so that's a good place to start. We also offer Good Business visits in person or via Zoom at the moment. And again, that's a good opportunity to sort of explore in a bit more depth what your plans are and ways that we can help promote and support what you're doing. We also have an offer around free solar. So if you have a business unit or a building, particularly a larger one, that has high energy use, we can offer free solar via Green Nation, and I'll talk about that a bit more in a moment. We have electric bikes that people can hire, and we're hoping to get more of those that people can borrow on a long-term basis. We also have a hybrid electric car club in Frome called Co-Wheels, and that has a couple of vehicles, one at the Cheese and Grain car park and one at the town hall that anyone can borrow, and it's only about £4.50 for an hour's use, so it's really, really cost effective as well and a good way to reduce carbon emissions. We have electric charging points around the town, and we're working with organisations like Zero Carbon World who can provide free charge points in Frome. And we also are working with a local group who are setting up a cycle courier scheme in light of the coronavirus crisis, but hopefully they will then also take that forward and support other local businesses to be able to deliver food and other items around Frome via bikes, which would be brilliant. And then we're also looking at supporting local businesses to provide them with energy audits in future. And as mentioned, this is really an opportunity to link up with other organisations and projects, and also to raise the profile of the organisations involved. So we've linked people up with tree planting locally. We also have our community fridge that we work with Adventure on, and we get local cafes, for example, to put some of their food that would otherwise be wasted into the community fridge. We have the Share Shop, UK's first Share Shop, that enables anybody, including businesses, to borrow resources. And we also have a sponsorship program for businesses that businesses can then support aspects of the tool library, for example, or different pieces of equipment there. And we also link up to support local events. Johannes and I last year did a year's course becoming social enterprise practitioners. So in theory, when I find time, there is some support there around helping people to set up social enterprises, because so many people in Frome are doing brilliant things. Is there a way that we can actually integrate the whole social enterprise, or basically enterprise doing good stuff that we can then sort of formalise and promote more in Frome? And at council, we have regular small grants. Those are not available for businesses, but they are available for social enterprises. We have the town vote, which focuses on different events each year and different projects. But again, there might be opportunities to link in there. And we have a weekly bulletin, funding opportunities for businesses, that's circulating every week at the moment. And I'll send around a link in a moment, show you a link. And then we have regular events for businesses. We have a working lunch. And we have Discuss and Do at the moment. Those are in the form of a weekly webinar. We have sole traders to support people working on their own. And we have shared workshops and training around a whole range of different aspects, including social enterprise and good business and things like that. And then we have an apprenticeship program that we support. And then we are also planning a business festival, which I expect will be now in 2021. And every year we award a Good Business Award. With the online survey, we are now looking at whether organisations could, when they meet certain criteria, for example, around sustainability, whether they could actually get a certificate to be a good business for environment, for example. So hopefully there'll be many more people getting that award in future. So as mentioned, one of the things we're looking at doing is offering free solar for local businesses, and this is Christchurch School in Frome. We're working with an organisation called Green Nation, and they install solar panels free of charge. The panels generate clean electricity, and then the building users get a discount on the electricity that they use from their roofs. So it's completely free and it saves the business money. The only thing about the offer is that you need quite a large roof and a reasonable energy demand, and you also need, well, to some extent you need to be sure that you'll be in the building for 20 years, but actually these sorts of contracts can actually be passed on, and they can actually be a selling point because it means that the building is guaranteed to have cheaper electricity, especially in light of energy increases in future, energy price increases. I'm also part of Frome Renewable Energy Co-op, and that is another option for large buildings where we've put, for example, community-owned solar panels on Frome Medical Practice and on Frome Football Club. So to find out more about any of this, there are lots of links there. So we've got Your Business page, and then we also have a page on around our climate emergency work. That we've recently published our climate emergency strategy and our climate emergency sort of action plan, and we would love to link up with local people and businesses and enterprise on that, and I try and keep that up to date with lots of different events and activities that are happening. So I've also put my email address below and that of my colleague who leads now on the Good Business programme. So do get in touch. Thanks very much.